Hi, this is Pastor John, and we're trying a new technology now. Maybe a little rough to start out with, but we do want to try it. We think it can be very important, beneficial to everybody. And so I am here as the leadoff. And today we're going to do a little devotional, and God willing, it'll be posted on our website, baypresbyterian.org. And the name of my particular devotion for the day is Love Born of Hope. And it's based on a passage in Colossians chapter 1, verses 3 through 6. First of all, let me say how proud I am of you, those of you tuning into our services at Bay and you who are listening now to our devotionals. And the amazing thing happened. Last week was the first week we went live stream. Nobody attended our services. The doors were closed. And we did everything via live stream. We had 280, plus or minus, 280 people tuned in with their computers. Some of those people were two people watching. We must have had close to 400 people watching our services last Sunday. It's amazing. Well, you are using this virus here as an opportunity to build your faith and strengthen your walk with God. I began by referring to the book of Colossians. And as you read that passage, Colossians chapter 1, verses 3 through 6, two things stick out to me. First of all, the apostle points out to the Colossian church their love for all the saints. Their love for the saints was notorious. There were a lot of things that troubled that church. Some had a misapprehension of who Jesus was. Others were struggling with the moral implications of faith in Jesus. These issues are listed in chapter 3 of the same letter. And that goes to demonstrate that really God doesn't have any superstars, just broken people helping out other broken people. And in spite of the struggles, what stuck out to the apostle was that their love for the folks within the church of Colossae and even beyond. Paul had never visited Colossae, likely, and at the time of his writing, he was in prison in Rome some 5,000 miles away. That's quite a distance today, but unimaginably far in his day. And yet, the church in Colossae, their loving deeds for one another and for the apostles were reported to Paul 5,000 miles away. He mentions it twice. First of all, in Colossians 1, verse 4, since we heard of your faith and love you have for all the saints. And then in Colossians chapter 1 and verse 8, and Epaphras had made known to us your love in the Spirit. One of the hallmarks of the church through the centuries has been the sacrificial love of the church, even and especially during times of crisis and suffering. Between 250 and 270 AD, a terrible plague, believed to be either measles or smallpox, devastated the Roman Empire. Reports from that time indicate that 5,000 people a day were dying in Rome alone. That plague coincided with the persecution of the church under the Roman Emperor Decius. Not surprisingly, Decius, among other enemies of the church, blamed the plague on the Christians. That claim was undermined by the fact that Christians were dying like everyone else, and the fact that while others fled the city, the Christians stayed behind to give care and bury the dead so as to prevent further death by the plague and other disease. It's true that when times are darkest, the light of the world, Jesus Christ, shines the brightest. The Apostle James wrote that we should know and process that the testing of our faith in such times as these produces steadfastness, so that we may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. And the Apostle Paul wrote that the outcome of suffering is endurance, character, and hope. In this Colossians passage, Paul wrote that this love, demonstrated in times of crisis by the Colossians, is born of the hope of the gospel. that Jesus suffered the disease of sin and out of love died so that we who are more ravaged by sin than we ever dared to imagine would be loved and accepted like we never dared hope. Jesus' death was the vaccination of the gospel. And may that same gospel go deep into our hearts so that we may continue to hear of your love for one another and for believers, the Church of Jesus Christ. May God bless you and keep you. May God make his face to shine upon you and give you peace. Amen. And a few things as we conclude. First of all, we're going to be trying to keep 3 devotions a week going. A new one Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Rachel and Billy and I will be providing this for you in the days and weeks to come, as long as we're shut down. We'll also continue our Sunday morning live stream services with Gordon leading the music as well. Call the church office if we could be of some help to you. Please let us know if you get sick or you have any needs. And you should know that we're praying for you and we care for you. God bless you. Thank you.